Good things come in small packages. All you need to change an unpleasant conversation into a pleasant one in your OET speaking is to add few positive words. And in this video, I'll be taking you through few positive words that you can use in your OET speaking subtest. Hi everyone, my name is Caroline, an expert OET trainer from IILT. To start with, let's have a look at 10 positive words that you can use in OET speaking. Alright, the words are like this: definitely, absolutely, certainly, exactly, completely, quickly, essential, recommend, ideal, impressive. So these are 10 common words, positive common words, which you can use in OET speaking. And trust me, if you use these positive words, you can see wonders in your OET speaking. So let's look into each words and some phrases or sentences which will help you to add in your OET role plays. So the first one is definitely. Okay, we normally use this one in our OET speaking, and it's not a very, it's not kind of like an unfamiliar word for you as well. So the very common phrase or a very easy phrase that you can use, or a sentence that you can use in OET speaking, is that I will definitely do the needful. Okay, so that definitely is coming there, and when you're saying I'll definitely do the needful, you're assuring the patient that you're there to help. So it's a very good statement that you can use. The second positive word is absolutely. Again, it's very familiar for you guys, right? So I'll show you how you can use absolutely. When the patient is telling you something, and if you want to agree with the patient, instead of saying I totally agree with you, you can say absolutely Mr. David, or you can say absolutely Mrs. Smith. That is one way of assuring the patient. Also, you can say that's absolutely right. Alright, that is another way of using this positive word to change the unpleasant conversation into a pleasant one. The next one is certainly. Again, when you use certainly, you're assuring the patient there, right? So you can say, I can certainly help you. Alright, so that way, when the patient is asking for help, or the patient is asking you to explain some details, so you can say, I can certainly help you. I'll explain the points to you. Alright, so that way, you can use this particular word. Now, let's look into the fourth, very simple, easy to remember positive word. It is exactly. We know it, right? We always use this term. So in a sentence, how we can use this? We can say, that's exactly right, Mr. David. Okay, that means when Mr. David is saying something and you agree to Mr. David, like we have seen in the case of absolutely, you can replace absolutely with exactly here. You can say, that's exactly right, Mr. David. Because when it comes to the OET speaking, there would be some instances where you have to repeat some statements, right? We normally say, I can understand your concerns, or that's what exactly I mean. So you kind of like have to repeat some statements, and we kind of like feel like, okay, if I use this over and over again, it will become a lot of kind of like a repetition. So in order to avoid this repetition, we need to know different sentence constructions or different sentence formats, so that we can avoid these repetitions to an extent. So in one place, if you have to use absolutely, that's absolutely right, Mr. David. The next place you can say, that's exactly what I mean, or that's exactly right, Mr. David. So you're kind of like conveying the same meaning but in two different ways. Okay, so that's the fourth one. Moving on to the fifth one. The fifth word is completely. Alright, so again, this word can be used to agree with the patient, like we have seen in absolutely and exactly. You can say, I completely agree with you. The common mistake I've seen here is that people always say, I'm agreeing with you, or the common repeated way of saying is that I agree with you. Okay, so instead of that, you can say, or you can show that you're completely supporting the patient. So you can say that I completely agree with what you are saying. Okay, so that is another positive assurance that you can provide for your patient. So that's a fifth one. Moving on to a sixth one, the sixth word is quickly. So the term quickly shows that as a nurse or as a healthcare professional, you're actually going to do something for the patient at the moment, right now. Okay, so that shows that you're not delaying anything. So if you want to say, for example, in cases of reluctant patients or agitated patients for that matter, so the agitated patients will require a response, or they will require an assistance very fast. Okay, they won't have time to talk to you, they won't be engaging in the conversation. So in these cases, you can use this particular word. You can say, I will quickly do the needful, which means that you will take an action right away. Okay, so you can use this phrase, all right, or the sentence. The next word is essential. Okay, essential, we know that essential is another synonym for the term important, We know significant. We also use words like imperative and everything, like vital, crucial, relevant, etc. Right? So in such a way, we can use essential as well. So whenever you are actually using this word, it shows the importance of doing something, and it's also a very positive word too. So you can use a statement like this: it is essential that you try to start exercising or you follow a well-balanced diet. Okay, so that's a very beautiful statement. So instead of always repeatedly saying, like, you have to do this, you have to start exercising, you have to follow a well-balanced diet. So instead of that, what you can do is you can use this word: it is essential that you follow a well-balanced diet. So it shows a little more of a professionalism there as well. So it doesn't mean that you cannot use the first statement. Yes, you can definitely use it, but still, since it's kind of like an English proficiency test, and if you want to show that you have a good proficiency in the language, it will be good if you construct the sentences in a very unique and in your own style as well. Okay, so this is another statement that you can use there. That being said, let's move on to the next word. The next word is recommend. Very, very familiar, right? We all use this. Not even a single role play passes without us using this word. So recommend is a word that we use normally when you are actually giving an advice for the patient. So we say, I suggest you to see the doctor, or I highly recommend you to do that, or you can even say, my piece of advice for you is that. Different ways of saying it. So I would suggest you guys to use the word recommend, okay, whenever you are actually providing an advice to the patient. So the statement that you can use here is, you can say, I highly recommend you to wait to see the doctor, or you can say, I strongly recommend you that. Okay, so that's another way of using this very good term in your OET speaking. So the next one, the ninth word that we are going to look into is ideal. Okay, so this is not a very common word that we always use in our OET speaking. So ideal, I will give a sentence for that so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, the sentence goes like this: it would definitely be ideal considering your situation. Okay, do you guys understand the meaning of it? The term ideal, the sentence again: it would definitely be ideal considering your situation. So in this situation, the term ideal means something suitable, okay, something that is perfect for the situation. So you can say that it would be definitely ideal given your condition. That means in this situation, the suggestion that I'm providing you, or this treatment or this particular medicine, is an ideal option for you, okay. So you can use this particular statement. It's a really good statement as well, and it's not widely used. So if you can learn it and if you start to use it in your role plays, yes, that will show that you're having a high level of proficiency, okay. So please learn this and try to make some changes in your speaking. So that's the ninth word, ideal. Let's look into the 10th and the last word that we are discussing today. That word is impressive. Now, how can we use the term impressive in your OET speaking? So impressive means that we are impressed of something. And when can you use this word? How can you use this to the patient? Like, how can you be impressed in the OET speaking, right? You must be thinking about it. So you can use it when the patient tells you something good, what the patient is doing. Maybe the patient is, has come for a review, and the patient is telling you, yeah, I was following everything what you told me. Or the patient has been scheduled or posted for a surgery, and you are checking with the patient whether the patient followed all the preoperative instructions, and the patient is saying, yeah, I did follow everything. So you can say, that's certainly impressive, Miss Susan. Okay, so that's a good way of saying it. So that's how you can use the term impressive in your OET speaking. So by that, we have seen 10 different positive words that you can use in OET speaking, and you can use these words to change any sort of unpleasant situation to positive ones, and you can see the changes in your OET speaking. So I'll come back with another video next time. Until then, take care and happy learning.
IILT, it's my cup of tea.